What's good, people? What are you saying? Happy Monday. It's your boy NLG. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all enjoying that City thrashing. We sent them packing back to Mane. Send them packing back to Mane. But is City the benchmark we're chasing, or are we chasing trophies? Well, on Wednesday, we have an opportunity, although a far-fetched opportunity, to try and get into the final of the Carabao Cup. Today, we're going to speak about everything to do with that game. So drop a like and subscribe to be a part of the NLG fam. You know what it is. Well, Newcastle. Now, I was going to talk about the transfer window today, but let's keep it real. We don't know who we're getting. Mathis Tell, who rejected United, Arsenal, Tottenham, apparently is now in London going to Tottenham. It's transfer deadline day today, and I'll probably only speak on who we sign once we sign them, because Arsenal, there's no point just throwing rumors out there. Get a bloody forward in. We should have had one in to play Newcastle. This is a massive game. There's a lot on the line. And what we can see by yesterday's game against Man City is when we play at our best, we can demolish teams. Now, we know Man City haven't been the best over the last couple of months, or let's say since Haaland said, stay humble. They have not been at their best. However, you could see Arsenal have the potential to really break down teams and cause harm. The issue is we only do this in a reactive nature. We aren't proactive with this. We only upped our ante yesterday once Haaland scored his headed goal. Then we saw Arsenal come out of our shell. We got Miles Lewis-Skelly into the pockets. We got Timber overlapping. Partey has incredible game yesterday, playing zippy passes. Declan Rice making interceptions, blocks high up the pitch, which I think is what Arteta loves about having Rice in the 8. But let's look at where the teams are at currently on form. So when we look at Newcastle, something Robbie from AFTV said, which was very true, even though we're 2-0 down in the first leg, going into this leg, we're 2-0 down, which means we need to score 2 to either take things to penalties or 3 to win the match. Robbie said something very true after we lost the first leg on the 7th of Jan, which was a month is a long time in football. And I might not agree with most things Robbie says, but with that, he's right. I mean, you can see Newcastle's form going up and down, after that first leg. They beat Bromley 3-1. That's Bromley. Wolves, they beat 3-0. Good win. They lost 4-1 to Bournemouth. And they beat Southampton then, and then lost 2-1 to Newcastle literally only 2 days ago. So it shows Newcastle are there to be got at. But as we've seen over the last couple of games for Arsenal across all comps, we concede goals in stupid ways, like Aston Villa, like Girona, like yesterday with Haaland getting the better of Saliba. And they're all in really flash moments. And as we know, if Isak, who's a top quality striker, gets that moment, we will get caught out. Because when we look at our form comparatively now, we'll easily see that we've been leaking and conceding goals all over the shop. 1 to City, 1 to Girona, 2 to Villa, 1 to Tottenham, United. So we concede goals, and that's a given. Now, where can we really hurt Newcastle? It's all going to be, we're going to St. James's Park, which is a really tough ground to be at, but we can hurt them if we play the ball quickly through the lines. Let's keep it real. Newcastle don't have to play and attack us tomorrow. They might do what they did towards the final moments of that first leg and go 5 at the back. Bring Almiron and Barnes on. Has Almiron left? I think he's left. But bring whoever on basically to park the bus. They could go and do that. We find it really hard to unlock teams, but that's because we're always passive, slow. We have a lack of mobility, a lack of movement. On Wednesday, go to St. James's Park and throw everything you can at that game. We need the attackers there. We need the players overlapping. There's nothing else to lose. Right now, we have lost the Carabao Cup. We need trophies. Beating Man City is not a trophy. It's bragging rights. If this team wants to be taken seriously and we want to go to Newcastle, we need to put everything on the table against Newcastle at St. James's Park. They have us down and out. And to be fair, right now, the way the aggregate scores looking, we are down and out. But like I said, we play like we did yesterday against City. We play like that against Newcastle. We have a chance. Now, forwards. Arsenal, like there's a chance to sign somebody, and it probably won't be in for that game by Wednesday. And I don't know why we again logic Arsenal Football Club. Why did you not sign somebody earlier so we can have a player in to try and grasp this competition? Are you allergic to trophies? Are you taking this as seriously as you should? That's something the board really needs to be thinking about and really needs to be asking them. Matis Tell, a winger who we potentially could have signed. He's gone to Tottenham. Apparently, we were interested. Will we go for Ollie Watkins? Ollie Watkins, obviously 60 million bid turned down. Supposedly, Aston Villa weren't happy with the timing of the bid. Apparently, the bid happened on the Monday, but was leaked out on the Wednesday during the Champions League game. And apparently they weren't happy with that. Will we make an improved Ollie Watkins bid? And even if we did, it's most it's very unlikely. Arsenal, if they had sense in their brain, they would have made that bid way earlier in the window. So you prevent and at least have them thinking about who to let go between Duran and Watkins, if Watkins was really the one they wanted. It's debatable as to whether that was the right one in the first place. But look, let's have a look. Between now and Wednesday, honestly, if I was Arteta, I'd be on a flight and dragging this player to the club now ahead of Wednesday. And we won't be able to get everything done by then. Nico Williams, who supposedly has a release clause. You know, if we're not going to get a striker now, which is looking increasingly unlikely, go and trigger this release clause. Get somebody in who's top quality who can break teams down. We saw Nwaneri when he came on, the way he can spin a player on the half turn and bomb into spaces, the way he actually attacks the fullbacks and tries to navigate spaces. We need a player like that on the flanks who can do that if we don't want to get a striker. Go and activate Yokerez's release clause. Go and activate it. Like, I'm tired of this whole why is it a tradition that Arsenal just do things on deadline day? Who wrote this into the rules? Um, anyway, let's go lineups. To be fair, it's almost pretty much self-explanatory at this point. Um, I mean, Raya goes in goal, and let me know if you disagree. Let me know your lineups down below, and drop hashtag NLG. Back four, you know, we're going with the same back four that had a solid game against City yesterday. Saliba comes in, but again, this defensive line. In fact, get Gabriel Magalhaes up top because he's got better shooting boots than Havertz. Although I will say, you know, Havertz got his goal yesterday after what was a pretty shocking miss. So hopefully, although I don't have much any faith, hopefully he has more confidence, Havertz. He needed that goal, and I hope even the way he celebrated is the most animated I've ever seen him. So can we really bring the passion out that we saw in the second half yesterday? This is what honestly got me scratching my head like Pep. I'm just like, ugh. When Arsenal just slowly build out, we're just not. We don't really take the game by the reins and try and exploit space. And Newcastle will park the bus, so we've got to be prepared for that. Odegaard, who got his goal yesterday, led the line very well. We're going to need that leadership from him. And also, the midfield general Partey, give him a new contract. His performance yesterday is probably one of the best DM performances I've seen, you know, alongside the best in the world, you know, Rodri's. It was incredible yesterday. And also Rice doing the DM role from the front but also providing the assists as well. We're going to need to utilize switches, playing the ball in behind. We're going to need to utilize a range of ways to try and break Newcastle down. And Rice and Odegaard are going to be the key to this with Thomas at the base of this pyramid, because it's going to be super hard to break Newcastle down. Now, yesterday against City, we started the game with Martinelli and Trossard. Trossard did actually really well. I really liked. He was skilling up his players. He he did a really good job down that left, to be honest. I think Martinelli was the most impactful. Do you go for Martinelli or Ethan Nwaneri? This is a game we need goals in. I don't think Martinelli will get as much space to run in behind because Newcastle will set up with Banks. So is this a game you need somebody who can take shots in? And take shots and just let them off, because Martinelli, he doesn't often get in the positions to let shots off too often. So me personally, Ethan Nwaneri comes in against Newcastle. Um, let's get him in up top. Got no other choice. Had we made signings by now, could have been whoever that person would be. But look, this is the lineups. If you're listening, David Raya in goal. The back four, the same as against City. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly. Partey in DM, absolute general. Odegaard and Rice at the 8 positions. Maneri outright, so we can actually get a player who's not scared to take shots. And we're going to need that kind of diversity of attack if we're going to try and score goals. Havertz up top. He scored a goal against City after a tragic miss and a couple of bad decisions. Can we get some energy and passion from him? Can he get his shooting boots on? And I think, actually, I was going to put Trossard out on the left. Actually, I'm going to stick with Trossard. We might need some trickery to unlock the team. So, yeah, that's my 11. Let me know your 11 down below. And what do you think the score is going to be? I reckon Arsenal can genuinely get 2 goals back in this game if we are at the races like we are in the second half of City. The problem is with Arsenal, it's a flip of the coin. And more often than not, we don't get that kind of performance. And we haven't seen it too many times this season. I'm going to say 2-2. Nah, bun it. Bun it. You know what? 3-0 Arsenal at St. James's. We're going for a shock scoreline. Let me know your score predictions down below. I'm going 3-0 to Arsenal at St. James's Park, which is a massive, massive statement that I think even I know, and the fans might say, yeah, that's nuts. That's a crazy scoreline. But I think this team is capable of doing it. The question is, will we do it? Arsenal, go out and do the job. Let's see what happens on Wednesday and in the transfer window. And let me know your score predictions down below in a bit.